Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. It's always great to have you here with us because today, we have a story that could shape the entire playoff journey for our beloved Lakers. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around until the very end because there's a lot more happening behind the scenes than what it looks like on the surface. So here's the big headline. The Los Angeles Lakers are leaning towards keeping their current roster intact for the playoffs, potentially deciding not to convert two-way players Trey Jemison and Christian Koloko into standard contracts. But what exactly does this mean for the team's championship aspirations? And could there still be a last-minute surprise? Let's dive deep into all of it. First, some context. In the NBA, teams can have players on two-way contracts, which generally limits their eligibility for the playoffs unless they're converted to standard deals. The Lakers have until April 13th to make that decision for Jemison and Koloko, a ticking clock that's putting pressure on the front office. Time is running out. Every day that passes without an announcement builds more tension among fans and analysts. Now, if you've been following the Lakers closely, you know that earlier this season they made a similar move. They converted Jordan Goodwin's deal into a standard contract and waived Cam Reddish to make room. It was a bold move that sent shockwaves through the fanbase. Could we be looking at something similar now? Or is this team truly set on riding with the roster they currently have? According to Jovan Buha from The Athletic, the latest buzz around a Lakers camp is that they are tending towards standing pat. Buha said in his recent podcast, "I've heard that it's leaning more towards standing pat with the current roster, but there are still a few days left to change their minds. So I'm not saying it's a done deal, but that's the early word for now." He doubled down earlier in the week, saying, "As of Wednesday, April 9th, I think it's tending more towards the Lakers probably standing pat. I'm not ruling out a change. It's still possible, but that's the current read." This kind of cautious language leaves a lot of room for speculation. Could Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office be holding their cards close to the chest? Are they waiting to see how the final two games of the season play out before making a decision? Could injuries or unexpected performances sway their plans at the last moment? Let's take a closer look at the players involved. Trey Jemison and Christian Koloko are both intriguing talents. Jemison brings size and a solid defensive presence in the paint, qualities that could be incredibly valuable in a grueling playoff series. Koloko, meanwhile, has a versatile skill set with rim protection and some developing offensive tools. The Lakers have invested time in both, so the idea of letting them sit out the playoffs without a shot could be risky. But here's the twist. If the Lakers did decide to convert one of them, they need to clear a roster spot. And that's where things get even more complicated. The player most mentioned in this scenario is Alex Len. Len has been solid but not spectacular since joining the Lakers. In 9 games, he's averaged 2.0 points and 3.2 rebounds in 12.1 minutes per game. Not exactly numbers that scream playoff difference maker. Could the Lakers consider waiving Len to bring in some youthful energy and upside with Jemison or Koloko? Some insiders believe that while the coaching staff appreciates Len's veteran presence and size, there might be a growing sentiment that a younger, more athletic big man could better complement Anthony Davis, especially if matchups get tricky against faster, more dynamic playoff opponents. And remember, playoff basketball is a different beast. Matchups, flexibility, and having that one extra guy who can give you energy and hustle minutes can change the course of a series. Could Trey Jemison be that surprise X factor? Could Koloko's rim protection swing momentum in a key playoff game? Fans are definitely torn. Some are calling for the team to go all in and make the move, arguing that you can't leave any weapon unused in the quest for a title. Others believe in the chemistry this current group has built and fear that shaking up the roster, even slightly, could throw things off balance right when it matters most. And let's not forget, the Lakers are currently 49-31 and sitting comfortably at third in the Western Conference. With just 2 games left, one at home against the Houston Rockets and one on the road against the Portland Trail Blazers, every decision now carries massive weight. Momentum going into the playoffs is crucial. There's also a financial angle. Converting a two-way player to a standard deal impacts salary cap dynamics, luxury tax implications, and future flexibility. Rob Pelinka is no stranger to playing the long game, balancing immediate competitiveness with long-term planning. Could those financial considerations be a hidden factor influencing the decision? So many questions, so few clear answers right now. But that's what makes this moment so electric. Will the Lakers trust in what they've built? Or will they make a last-second adjustment that could shake up the playoff picture? But what do you think about all of this? Should the Lakers roll the dice and bring up Jemison or Koloko for a potential playoff boost? Or is it smarter to trust the roster that's gotten them this far? Personally, as a diehard Lakers fan, I'm torn. Part of me loves the idea of injecting fresh legs and hunger into the lineup right before the playoffs. But another part of me worries about messing with the chemistry that's been so crucial during this strong finish to the season. Either way, I'm dying to hear what you think. Another layer to this discussion is the health of the current roster. While the Lakers have mostly dodged major injuries late in the season, we all know how quickly things can change. One awkward landing, one tweaked ankle, and suddenly a deep playoff run looks a lot harder. Having an extra body ready and eligible to play could be the safety net the Lakers need. Let's not underestimate playoff matchups either. The Western Conference is stacked with teams that play fast, aggressive basketball. Squads like the Sacramento Kings, Oklahoma City Thunder, and even the Phoenix Suns could force the Lakers into smaller, quicker lineups. Having a young, mobile big like Koloko could be a sneaky asset in those kind of series. On the other hand, experience matters a ton in the playoffs. Veterans like Alex Len may not light up the stat sheet, but they know how to handle the pressure, avoid dumb fouls, and stay poised when things get crazy. It's the classic debate, upside versus reliability. Which one would you bet on? Another interesting wrinkle is the chemistry between the younger players and the core Lakers stars. How would LeBron James and Anthony Davis feel about a last-minute roster change? These guys have been through countless playoff battles. Their trust in their teammates is crucial, and any disruption might affect that invisible but vital team bond. Then there's the locker room dynamic. Every NBA team has its own rhythm, its own ecosystem behind the scenes. Players know their roles, routines are set, and rhythms are established. Bringing in someone new, even someone already around the team, could create unforeseen ripples. It's not just about X's and O's. It's about trust, comfort, and flow. But let's flip it again. Maybe a little shakeup is exactly what the Lakers need. Playoffs are about momentum and energy, and a fresh face with something to prove can sometimes ignite a spark. Remember how impactful guys like Alex Caruso were when they first got real playoff minutes. Energy and hunger can be contagious. Speaking of energy, how about the way the Lakers have closed out games lately? This team has shown resilience and grit in some tough matchups down the stretch. That's why it's so hard to argue for any major changes. They've built real momentum, and heading into the playoffs, that confidence is priceless. Still, it's impossible to ignore that the Lakers have had some rebounding and rim protection struggles when Davis is off the floor. Koloko, in particular, could help plug that gap for a few key minutes a night. It might not sound like much, but one or two defensive stops can swing an entire playoff game, and by extension, a series. And if we're being honest, part of the Lakers' identity this season has been depth. They've won games because different players have stepped up on different nights. Adding another tool to the toolbox, even in a limited role, could be the smart play if they want to survive deep into May and June. As we inch closer to the playoffs, every little move, every decision becomes magnified. It's not just about winning games anymore. It's about surviving and advancing. The margin for error shrinks to almost nothing, and having that extra option available could make the difference between a second-round exit and a championship parade. Looking back at Lakers history, some of the biggest playoff moments have come from unexpected heroes. Robert Horry, Derek Fisher, even more recently players like Austin Reeves, guys who weren't necessarily the stars but stepped up when it mattered most. Could Jemison or Koloko write their own chapter in that legacy? Of course, nothing is guaranteed. Even if the Lakers decide to convert one of the two-way players, there's no promise they'll even see meaningful minutes. But having the option, having the flexibility, could give Darvin Ham and the coaching staff one more chess piece to play when the stakes are highest. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. Seriously, your insights are some of the best out there. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Big decisions are coming, and you're going to want to be here when they break. See you in the next video.